Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alyssa Corum and Ed Carson here. Happy Monday, Ed. Why don't you go ahead and give us a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about today?
Good afternoon. Yes. Well, Boeing continues to soar a huge run as it tries to come back. Meanwhile, trillion-dollar stocks Microsoft and Amazon moved up to right around buy points today.
All right, well, let's take a look at the major indexes, starting off with a weekly chart of the Dow. Ed, you mentioned Boeing running up big. We've seen super strong gains for the blue chip index, leading gains again today, up about 1.7%, while the Nasdaq was up 1.1% and the S&P up 1.2%. So again, a lot of strength in these blue chip stocks.
Yeah, a lot of the Boeing, a lot of their airlines, a lot of real economy stocks, travel related, especially really surging. You can see that the Dow for several weeks was consolidating back in say April or May, and then has really come on really sharply and sort of coming back as the economy opens up. That jobs report last Friday, just a lot of positive signs. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq, it's not like it's doing anything bad. I mean, the Nasdaq is hitting record highs, so it's hard to get too upset about that.
Yeah.
Just this really strong action. It ended up closing up more than 1%. Just doing really it's just across the board. This has just been just an amazing rally.
It really has been an amazing rally, and also amazing have been Boeing's gains as of late. But it really did fall off the table pretty severely during the coronavirus crash. So making up some of those gains, but just massive, massive gains in the last couple of sessions here, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge comeback. Obviously, air travel might be coming back a little bit. I mean, and so maybe then jets won't be canceling so many, airlines won't be canceling so many orders for jets, or maybe ordering new ones. Just have to keep in mind, it's like, well, why aren't we talking about buying this stock? Well, it's still so far down. I mean, and we've had this kind of issue. If you look at it, well, we had bottomed in March. It did almost the same thing over a 4-day period. It really surged and then gave up a lot of those gains almost right away. So, and that was normal. And then it kept on falling for a while. So, I mean, Boeing may continue to run, airlines might continue to run, but it wouldn't be surprising if Boeing turned around and sold off, say, 20 or 30%. It wouldn't look wrong on the chart per se. So it's just, you want to be trying to buy, not trying to buy the cheapest price, but you want to be buying a stock that's likely to, that is likely to go up and likely to go up quickly from the spot that you're buying it.
Right, because even though air travel is starting to come back, we've been hearing that a full recovery may take a couple of years. So potentially down the road, we might get a couple of headlines. Oh, all this positivity may not be at the level that we thought it was. That's one potential scenario that could happen.
That absolutely could be the case. Just a shifting to something else, and it just like they're going to lose money again this year after losing money last year on the, on the Boeing 737 Max, which is still grounded. So they've got a lot of ways to go to really get back to something that we'd want to be looking at.
All right, well, let's shift our attention to some big cap tech stocks, starting off with Microsoft, one of IBD's long-term leaders, breaking out here today, a gain of about 0.6%. It's been trading tightly, and we had actually a 4 weeks tight, is now edging above that area here now. So what do you think about this move for Microsoft, Ed?
I mean, it wasn't the most powerful move. Obviously, it actually even lagged the market a little bit, but it did better than a lot of other software names, which came back down. Microsoft had hit resistance, at that area. It's moving above it. It's sort of a slow and steady winner, but it continues to outpace the market over time. As you can see, the relative strength line has been strong for several years. It's dipped in the last couple of weeks, but it's been doing great. Strong earnings, strong sales. There's just a lot of reasons why it's not only a long-term leader, it's on Swing Trader and Leaderboard, which gives you a sense that from a variety of different investing strategies, this makes a lot of sense.
Yes. All right. And let's also take a look at Amazon, another big cap tech name that also moved above a tight entry here. Now with the 3 weeks tight, it looks like it could have moved above it last week, but technically we're waiting for it to poke above that intraday high, which it finally did today.
It did, and then it did close back down just below it. I mean, you could have certainly started making a
Mm,
position here. It's an all-time closing high. Again, like Microsoft, the RS line has come down in the last couple of weeks, but it's been a strong performer. This was a coronavirus play, but it's not all positive. They've had to spend a lot of money to, protect their
right.
workers and to deal with shipments and rearrange shipping lines. So, Amazon with its e-commerce and its cloud computing, these are growth areas. And even as the coronavirus crisis eventually fades, those, a lot of those gains will probably be maintained. And these were strong growth areas even before the crisis.
And another note about these 3 and 4 weeks tight entries, we typically view these as areas to add shares to an existing position. So, what do you think about that aspect of the moves that we're seeing now, especially with, like you said, we're not seeing really strong volume coming behind these gains?
Well, I think with these ones you probably could because they weren't well extended from bases. I mean, Amazon sort of got this sort of been consolidating for several weeks. Microsoft's was really just another handle. I mean, really
Mm,
inside a base. One of the issues going on just in general with the market is you're seeing some beaten down stocks like Boeing come up. You're seeing some stocks that were really fell hard like Tesla or RH run up, and some of them are setting up buy points, but not that well. So like Tesla did break out, having another huge day. But there haven't been a whole lot of, not a huge amount of new leadership coming out yet. Maybe they'll consolidate more. A few of them have, like Tesla did. But this is still, I think, areas that Amazon and Microsoft, these are giant leaders that are probably going to continue to perform well. And if you have a portfolio of some wild stocks, it's nice to have some stocks like this that are likely to be, steady winners for you.
All right. Well, that is it for today's show, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. And you can be sure that the conversation will continue tomorrow morning on IBD Live. That's our morning live stream where our experts are sharing their screens, breaking down the stocks on the move of the day, breaking out, also looking at the market conditions, because this seems like a pretty interesting market that not the whole Wall Street crowd thought was going to play out how it has.
I don't think nobody here thought it was going to work out like this. The thing is, that's the whole point. You don't try to guess where the market's going to go. You just try to analyze what the market is doing now. And that's what we try to do every day on IBD Live, and we try to do on this show as well.
Yes. So make sure to join us tomorrow morning at investors.com/IBD Live. You can get all the details on that there. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.